Hello guys, good night. Thank you for being with me today uh, with this second lab or second enhancement of the first lab. Um, I am Luis Narciso, as you may know if you are following me in my BGP challenge for talking about the BGP process for 100 days. I'm now at day 92. Um And yesterday we leave the configurations of this topology um, uh, in a step that wasn't the step that I would want to. So for today, what we will do is to improve the configurations from yesterday. And for that, my objective is to create a loopback interface on the MikroTik and set the IP for it. Verify what is configured on the iBGP process. Reconfigure the name of the iBGP process to be better recognized when troubleshooting should be necessary. After that, we are going to redistribute the loopback network into the BGP process. We will verify which routes are advertised by the iBGP process and which, on the MikroTik, and which routes are received on the FortiGate side. And after that, we are going to do the same for the FortiGate. We are also going to create a loopback address and we are going to allow the connectivity to that loopback address because, as I told you yesterday, the FortiGate, first of all, it's a firewall, and only after that it is a router. So, in order to we can reach out to the loopback that we are going to configure, we need to set up a policy that allows the communications from the port that is receiving the queries to that loopback address. After that, we are going to test connectivity and we will finish for today. So let's start with it. Mhm. Okay, so here we are with, with the MikroTik. So, as I told you, what are we going to do in the first step? We are going to see, or better, to create a loopback address, because if we run the export command to see what is configured, uh, no, I already had configured it. Sorry, guys. I will remove it. Mhm. This wasn't on my plans. My plan was to show you how to configure it for the beginning. I was doing some tests. So sorry for that. Now we can begin. So to configure the loopback address, I need to set up an interface bridge and give it the name of loopback2. So to do that, as you can see right now, we don't have it, neither the loopback2, neither the interface bridge. So we are going to create it. And for that, we are going to place the command interface bridge. Sorry, my PC is becoming alive. Interface bridge add. And now we need to place the name, if I'm not mistaken. And loop back to enter. Now we are going to set an IP to configure an IP to that interface loopback to interface address add address equals 2.2.2.2 in the interface loopback 2, and the network is 2.2.2.2, which makes it a /32 network. If we do the export now, we can see that we have the interface bridge with the name loopback2, and we add an IP address to map to that interface. So for the second step, what can we do? We can verify what we have on the iBGP process, because yesterday we have configured the iBGP with the name that wasn't correct. Let's see. Routing BGP connection export. So yesterday this name wasn't like this, and with my tests I have changed it. The name was MikroTik AS 65000. But as it is changed, what can I do to you to see is to change it again, so that you know how to do it in the future if you need to. So to change the name of the BGP process that is configuring the iBGP with the FortiGate, we can place this command in action. Routing BGP connection set, and now we put the brackets and we go to find the name equals to MikroTik to FortiGate, and we are going to place a variable saying that the new name is, and what was it, MikroTik AS 65000. Okay, if we now do another export, we see that the name is incorrect, and this was my goal, was to change this name so that in the future if we need to do some troubleshooting, it is more easy. It is easiest to see and to understand what is this doing. So for the name MikroTik to FortiGate, we understand that it is a connection from MikroTik to FortiGate. So I will do the command again, but with the names changed. didn't change the name. Let's do it again. Yeah, it didn't change the name because it's wrong. Maybe a bug. It's happening in here. So let's place the command as it should be. And now, as you can see, the name of the BGP connection has changed. So let's move on and let's redistribute the loopback into the iBGP process, because right now it is not doing that. And if we go to the firewall, we can see that we are not receiving that route. But let's see. Get router info BGP neighbors, and let's place in here the neighbor IP 124.42.42. That is the firewall neighbor, and we are going to place the command receive the routes. No such neighbor. No neighbor exists. Why is that? No, of course it doesn't exist. It's the firewall. I'm placing the wrong command. Okay. So, as you can see, we don't have any prefix advertised by the BGP process from the MikroTik to the FortiGate. So let's change that. And for that, we are going again to manipulate the process on the MikroTik side, and we are going to add the option to redistribute the connected and static routes. So we are going to place the command routing BGP connection set, and we are going to find the name MikroTik to FortiGate 4, but we are missing the equal, and we are going to say that we need the output dot redistribute equals, and we are going to place the variables connected comma static, and we are going to press enter. Now if we do the export, we can see that it is on the process. So we could verify on the MikroTik if we are advertising the routes. And for that, the command should be routing BGP advertisements print. Routing BGP. We don't have advertisements. So it may be due to the router OS. Yeah, we are using router OS 7.1. I believe that this feature to see the advertised routes on the MikroTik was only launched on the future version of MikroTik, and I'm using an older version. So let's see on the firewall. Okay, on the firewall we have two accepted prefixes. And how do we see on the firewall the accepted prefixes? And we see that there are two prefixes on the RIP, and this is for address family IPv4 unicast, and with the command that we run we didn't receive anything. So how do we see the routes? So get router info BGP neighbors, received prefix routes, man. Should it be routes? And here they are. Here are the routes, and this is the route that we want. So let's try to ping it. Execute ping 2.2.2.2. Haha! Success. So let's move on. Now we are going to do the same process, but to the firewall. We are going to create here a loopback for interface. So for that, what can we do? We do config system interface, and now we are going to edit loopback for. This is a name that we are going to give to our interface. We are going to set the VDOM root. We are going to set the IP 4.4.4.4. We can put /32, or we can put the mask 255.255.255.255. We are going to set the allow access to ping, HTTP, and telnet. Once again, guys, please don't do this in production. HTTP and telnet to access a device shouldn't be the proper way. So please avoid this whenever possible. Do not use it in production. Use SSH, use HTTPS. Don't use these protocols, please. Now, continuing our configuration, we are going to put the type of the interface, that is a loopback interface. Set type loopback. Now, what can we do? I believe that that's all. We can do a show, and we have our loopback interface configured with the VDOM root, with the IP 4444, with the access that we want, being HTTP and telnet, and we say that the type is a loopback. So let's do next. Okay, it's done. Now, for the firewall to redistribute the routes towards the MikroTik, we should do the same that we did on the MikroTik. We need to redistribute the routes that are static and the routes that are connected. In order to do that, we need to go into the BGP process. So let's do it. Config router BGP. I believe that is config redistribute static. Yes. You need to set the status to enable. Next. Oh, no, not next. And we need to config redistribute connected, config redistribute connected. And now we need to set the status to enable. Setting the status to enable, and now we can leave it and end. And now what can we do? We can see if we are sending the routes to the MikroTik. Get router info, BGP, networks. And what can we read from this command? We can read that we are receiving the 2.2 via internal iBGP interior gateway protocol, and the 4.4.4 has a star, which means that is valid and says that is the best because of course it is directly connected. But how can we see that we are redistributing the route? I don't remember the command, but let's see on the MikroTik if we have the route. And to see on the MikroTik if we have the route, what can we do? It's routing, route print. Oh, here it is, 4.4.4 with the flags AB. It's active, and the B stands for BGP, probably. Yeah, it should be BGP. So let's try to ping it. Notice the ping will fail. Ping address 4.4.4.4 and failed. And that's why? That's because we don't have a firewall policy allowing the traffic from port 1 to the loopback address. So we are going to leave the ping running on the MikroTik, and we are going to configure what is necessary so that the ping could be accepted. So first of all, we need to configure a firewall address for the interface loopback 4. That firewall address would be then placed on the policy, on the on the firewall policy. So let's configure it. Configure firewall address. Let's edit an address and give it my name. Loopback 4 IP, for example. Okay, a new entry was added. Now let's set the subnet. What can we do instead of subnet? We have other options, but the best fit for us is subnet. So allows subnet 4.4.4.4 and 255.255.255.255. Boom. Done. Now we are going to leave this. The IP, the address is created with the IP that we pretend. Now we need a firewall rule so that the pings could start being received and replied. So let's config firewall rule, no, policy. config firewall policy. If we place a show, we don't have any, so let's edit with a number to create one policy. And now we place a name to the policy. Set name, allow port 1 to loopback 4, for example. Boom. Now we need to set the source interface. Set source interface, and the source interface is the interface port 1. It is where the traffic is coming in. We need to set also the destination interface, which is our loopback or loopback 4. We need to set the source addresses. In the source addresses, we are going to place in here all. Notice that this can be filtered for what we want to, from where we want to receive the traffic, but for now, for the sake of the complexity to be low, we will put all. But in production, if you want, you can always can place the source address from sources that you really trust and are necessary to reach the interface. Okay, so take that in mind. We need to set also the destination address. Yes, it's like this. And for the destination address, we are going to place the name of the address that we created before. That was the loopback 4 IP. It was this one. Now we need to set the action of the rule, and the action is accept. We have accept, deny, and IPsec. For this case, we are going to accept the traffic. We need to set the schedule, and we are going to set to always. We can manipulate these also, but for now we are going to place always. What more is necessary? We need the service. The service is the ports that are allowed, the ports and protocols, but we are going to place all. As you can see, we have a lot of them: DNS, HTTP, HTTPS, LDAP, etc. So we are going to place all in this case. I believe, yeah, it's here, all. And we can also log the traffic. Set log traffic, and we can set it to all or UTM or disabled. In this case, we are going to set it to all. And now notice something. When I insert the command next, the firewall will be in place and will be written by the firewall. No, the policy will be written by the firewall. And if you look at here, at this side, you will see the time of the replies starting to work. I hope. As you can see, success. Now we can reach our FortiGate from our MikroTik. So if we, what can we do more? Uh, we can execute a ping from the firewall to the MikroTik, but I believe we did it before. Execute ping 2.2.2.2. Yes, it's replying. Uh, so for now and for this video, I believe that we achieved our goal. Um, what can I tell you for tomorrow is that I will try to do another video and introduce an extreme switch to the topology. An extreme switch is from Extreme Networks. It's another vendor, okay? And my goal for tomorrow should be to connect one port of the MikroTik to that router in here, and another port from the FortiGate to the extreme switch. Okay, and what will happen is that this extreme switch will be on the AS 65001, and it will establish adjacencies with this one, uh, with iBGP. So this is my goal for tomorrow. I hope that you are enjoying this series regarding these configurations with multi-vendor technology. Uh, I just want to appreciate the time that you are spending with me, and see you tomorrow.